Hello. Today we're going to talk about the 5 approaches of the Metamodern graphic designer. This aspect deals with performatism. And when we talk about performatism, don't think necessarily of performing, like you're the star in a performance. Think about all the aspects of a performance. The setting, the characters, the plot, the interactions between those characters. All these aspects are working together holistically to a directed narrative, a story, a larger object. So let's take a book, for example, a piece of text. When we think about a piece of text that's performative, we think about that all of the aspects are performing. So in a text, there's a reader, there's a writer, and the text itself. So the designer, or the writer in this case, would think about how are all these aspects going to be performing together in a way that speaks to a larger outer narrative. How can I make the text interact with the reader who is physically or mentally in one type of a scenario or other? So how can I adapt it to who they are, and how can I engage them and feel like we're all just hanging out? How can I potentially blur the boundaries between who is the reader or the writer or the text? And same thing, when you think about a narrative or an object at large, instead of merely defining that object with a static definition, use multiple entry points into one idea. How do we do this? We incorporate what is called the ostensive sign, or multiple extensive signs, in order to explain what you're talking about. Use examples in order to explain an object at large. It's this idea coined by Raoul Eshelman called double framing. It's about having multiple internal frames, the ostensive sign, the examples, multiple of those things, and then paired with an external frame, which is your object at large. It's the thing you're trying to explain. The scene, one point that everything relates to. Using the brief Explain Metamodernism, I will show how this approach can be applied. So, for this project, I've created a book. It includes a series of photos that are all examples of Metamodernism. Each of them are visual expressions of Metamodernism. Some of these expressions include things that are the same and things that are opposites, instances of rethinking the human body, mixed reality, traditionalism versus the future. These examples are the internal frames, which can't really be articulated in words very well, but are shown in pictures. They are in themselves separate scenes, comprised of a few photographs for one idea, so I guess there's like an idea within an idea. But what lives around all these internal frames, these ambiguous clauses, subjects, is the outer frame, which is Metamodernism. These are all examples of Metamodernism, which in itself is its own scene in a way. Here, both the internal and external frames cannot operate without each other, yet they can still be designated as separate sensibilities. The internal frames are all characters which contribute to the scene of the outer frame.